Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Monday, February 19. In Squiz Kids Today, historic moon landing has liftoff. Florida bear steals choccies from car. Farting dart player causes a stink. And Aussie cricket's new heroine. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
As we go to air this morning, a rocket ship is hurtling through space above your head, on its way to the moon to hopefully land on the South Pole and find the water there that could one day keep humans alive up on the moon. So there's a lot to unpack here, so let's break it down. On Friday, a rocket ship called Odie lifted off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida in the United States, aiming to become the first American spaceship to touch down on the moon in 50 years. Now, just over 50 years ago, America was the first country in the world to put humans on the moon, when a young astronaut called Neil Armstrong climbed down a ladder from his spaceship and left a boot mark in the grey, dusty surface. Now, of course, America is one of several countries launching what are called lunar missions. Lunar is the adjective we use to describe anything to do with the moon. India, China, Russia and Japan have also recently launched their own lunar missions, with India achieving the remarkable feat last August of a soft landing on the South Pole. Odie will also attempt to land on the moon's South Pole, probably sometime around Thursday or Friday of this week. And that's really hard to do because we can't see the South Pole from down here on Earth, so it's literally a case of flying blind. So why is there so much interest in the South Pole of the moon? Because that's where evidence of water has been found. And if there's water on the moon, that could have big implications for countries' plans to build a permanent base on the moon where humans could one day live. Maybe one day you'll be among the astronauts taking off to go and live on the moon. How amazing is that?
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in the United States, where the animals are revolting. I don't mean they're stinking and awful, not that kind of revolting. I mean there's a revolution going on as they stage daring break-ins to steal food. A woman in Florida got the shock of her life last week when she woke up to discover a bear had broken into her car and torn the interior to shreds. Turns out the bear was after a box of chocolates that the woman's boyfriend had left on her car seat as a surprise. What a surprise. Meanwhile, the raccoons have been busy doing their bit for the revolution down Florida way too, after a trio of the masked bandits helped themselves to a woman's food delivery before she could collect it from her doorstep. She also got the surprise of her life when she opened her front door to get her DoorDash delivery of tacos and found 3 raccoons tucking into it. I've stuck a link to video of the cheeky food thieves in today's episode notes.
Sport time.
And so we pay a rare visit to the sport of darts, where accusations of unfair farting have been hurled at the winner of a Super Series match over the weekend. English darts player Darren Webster accused his Dutch rival Ron Meulenkamp of deliberately dropping stink bombs during their tense match, putting him off his game. The Dutchie denied being toot-tastic, saying it wasn't him and that the bad smell had come from somewhere else. And haven't we all used that excuse? I mean, that's why I have a dog, so I can blame him for my farts. Ron ended up winning the match, because clearly the wind was in his favour, leaving Darren with no other choice but to kick up a stink. Ah, there it is, the dad joke alarm. We haven't heard from you for a while, dad joke alarm. Welcome back. Aha! And there's the Classroom Companion Clarion, letting us know that today's free classroom activity sheets are tied to this and the revolting animals items in today's podcast. And a big welcome to the flood of new teachers who have signed up via our website squizkids.com.au to receive these resources via the Squiz Kids Classroom. Did I mention they're not only free but also curriculum aligned and differentiated? You're welcome.
Squiz Kids salutes.
Turning to an actual sporting achievement, and today's Squiz Kids salute is going out to Aussie cricketer Annabel Sutherland. Annabel made history at the weekend, clocking up the fastest ever double century in women's Test cricket. A double century in non-cricket speak is, of course, 200 runs. Annabel actually scored 210 runs off 256 deliveries, meaning the ball was bowled to her 256 times, which is a remarkable achievement. Her great big score helped Australia beat South Africa in the women's Test match, beating them by an innings and 284 runs, which is cricket speak for a thumping. And as luck would have it, we did a Squiz Kids Q&A with Annabel last year, in which she answered questions sent in by you lot and talked about what it takes to become a sporting champion. I stuck a link to that Q&A in today's episode notes. You're very welcome. And congratulations, Annabel. Hello, teachers. Just popping into your ears with a little request for help. I'm meeting up later this week with the Federal Education Minister Jason Clare and New South Wales Deputy Premier Prue Carr at Chester Hill Public School, and a shout out to my new friends there, so that they can see Newshounds in action in the classroom. I know, right? It's a big day for Squizzy the Newshound. He is very excited. The Minister is keen to receive testimonials from teachers around the country who have used Newshounds in their classroom to teach kids to spot misinformation when they come across it online. So, whether you've done all 8 sessions of the Newshounds pilot program or you've only dipped your toe in, I would really appreciate it if you could email through a testimonial to me today at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au, and I'll take it with me to my meeting. A few minutes of your time to tap out a couple of lines could make a huge difference to our ability to continue to develop Newshounds and ensure Aussie kids are the most media literate in the world. Thank you in advance.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. How many runs did Annabel Sutherland score to help Australia to victory over South Africa? That's right, she scored 210 runs. Question number 2. What's the name of the American spaceship flying to the moon this week? Well done if you said Odie. Question number 3. What was a Dutch dartsman accused of doing over the weekend to put off his opponent? I'll accept dropping stink bombs or tooting or farting.
Shout outs.
It's February 19. The BAFTA Awards take place in London today. They're the big movie and TV awards in the United Kingdom. Plus, it's also the birthday of Stranger Things and Enola Holmes actress Millie Bobby Brown. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today and tomorrow. Navia from Oran Park, Liam from Leopold, Dylan from Yass, Juliet from West Pennant Hills, Hudson from Newington, Harrison from Yarraville, Hugo from Bowen North, Keeve from Cornwall and Ava from Holland Park. And happy belated birthdays to Carice, Ryan, Arush, Penelope, Louis, Connor, Sion, all from Point Cook, Bo from Shoal Bay and Jaylee from Cessnock. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Class 4-5N with Mrs McNabb at Albury West Public School, Class 5-6T and Mr Finch at Galston Public School, Year 6 and Mrs Pearden at St Michael's Catholic Parish Primary School in Thirroul, Class 5A and Mrs Applegate at Westside Christian College in Goodna, to the Jumaski family who are homeschooling whilst travelling around the world, lucky ducks, and are currently in Mexico and Costa Rica, And finally, to Class CM2 and Mrs. Morin, listening from the St. Bernard School in La Montagne in La Belle France. Ho ho ho! Bonjour, Madame Morin! Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you want a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. And teachers, remember, there's a form there too for you to fill out the birthdays of every kid in your class. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back tomorrow with a timely Squiz the World episode on Indonesia. Squiz the World takes you on a virtual excursion to another country, and this week it's timely we head to Indonesia as it's just staged a great big general election for a new president. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.